All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. Shabbat Shalom. As I said earlier in the week, forgive me for missing last week. We just had a lot of things going on between that whole week. But I do want to give honor, praise, and glory to YAHUAH, Yahushua HaMashiach, and thank them for empowering us through the Ruach HaKodesh. I want to just give I just want to say thanks to Joshua Watts Leather Company. This is a leather covering for the CEPHER. If any of you have one, Joshua Watts, he does an exceptional job on making these. And we also got a shimmer bracelet that we ordered from him. It actually is good for carrying yourself around, so that way you ain't trying to tote the big thing everywhere in your hand. Shalom, brother. So today, y'all seen the title is called "YAH is My Strength." And one thing we got to recognize is we go through so much. Just let's look at it like this: from Shabbat to Shabbat, we go through so much as we dealing with certain things. I mean, and so as I was praying and asking them to give me a message, I was thinking about just this week. Not just personally, but things that happen all around, in different areas of the world. Well, Hurricane Michael, it ripped through like 5 or 6 states, tore up people's houses and churches and different things. And many people are right now just, I want to say they're governing their feelings and depending on the government to help them fix the problems with their house or their pipes or whatever it is, the flooding that happened. And one thing that we have to recognize is, as followers of Yah, we cannot focus on accepting man to help us. Oh, sorry to hear that, brother. What state are you in? If you don't mind letting us know, we'll keep that state in prayer, because we already been keeping Florida in prayer and Georgia and even North Carolina. GA, that's where we from, man. GA. All right. So yeah, we'll be keeping you in prayer. We got family all throughout GA, so we're definitely keeping that state in prayer. We just moved from there a couple of months ago. And yeah, so sorry to hear that though. But we'll be keeping you lifted up in prayer as well. And then not only that, it's like the people that we connect with. You know what I mean? As they're going through things. So a couple of words that I recognize in scripture that Yah places right there together is joy, strength, and salvation. Those are 3 words that he placed together. So what is joy? Joy is happiness, it's gladness, it's rejoicing. It actually means festival as well. The word is simcha in Hebrew. So it's to delight. It's like I was telling my wife, I record my son whenever he asks me for something. I make him wait a period of time because I want to make sure that he does first good in school. I want to make sure that he that he meets my expectations, just like we have to meet Yah's expectations. Okay, so Yah is a rewarder of them that seek him what? Diligently. And so as we seek him, then what begins to happen is we will keep his commandment, we will obey what he tells us to do, even in getting correction, we will fall back in line if we were wrong. So Yah's joy is what? Our strength. So think about it. Every time I record my son, I watch how happy it makes him feel. Now, to a father, that makes him feel good that he can make his child feel good. So think about how the father feels whenever we fulfill anything that he has placed in on assignment on us. Whenever he has given us any type of assignment to do, and we are obedient to what he tells us to do. Think about how that makes him feel. And so I'll be looking at those videos and I'll be like, one thing, if I was to put this video up, everybody can see how happy my son is, but nobody can see how happy I am on the other side of that video. And that's how it is with Yah. You can't see but you can feel the joy that he has. He will even, like, oftentimes he come visit me in dreams or or visit my wife, and he'll tell you, great job. Great job. So this is the thing though. If Yah is willing to appear before us to let us know that we did a good job, what you think he's gonna do when we do the wrong thing? He's gonna appear before you. He said he warns before destruction. So we have to realize when we're going and we find ourselves weak, it's not our strength that keeps us going. It's his strength. I mean, and so it's by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh that we become strengthened to be able to continue to walk. Let's talk about what strength is in Hebrew. Strength is kezek, meaning the ability to resist being moved or broken. How many times do you feel like something is trying to move you from your objective? Something is trying to break you from being able. But look what it said. It says from being moved or broken by a force. We already know that all types of spiritual forces are up against us to try to cause us to separate us from Yah. Mastema Hashatan, he does not care. He dispatched his little minions and his little demons and his devils everywhere to try to separate us from Yah. So the moment we're going through something, guess what? If you're not strengthened by Yah, if Yah is not your strength, you will become what? Weakened. And when you become weakened, you will not follow through with the task that was given to you. That's why he said, every work shall be what? Tried by fire. Because it's going to prove whether you're acceptable to walk before Yah. And so therefore, we have to keep in mind when we are going through these things that Yah is our strength. Now, what does salvation mean? It means Yeshua. What is Yeshua? It means safety. Yeshua. Yahusha is our Yeshua. He is our safety. He's the one that will guard and keep us. But what are we to do? We are to guard his commandments. I mean, he told us to guard his commandment. He said, if you love me, you shall keep my commandment. So I'm not going to be long before you today. I just want to kind of give you a brief description on how we are to allow Yah to be our strength, because we may be going through things, not just, in the course of a week, in the course of a month, in the course of a year, in the course of years, whatever the case is. But we have to be able to rely on him being our strength. Because at times we may feel like we want to give up, but the race isn't given to the fast or the strong, but he that endures unto the end. So this is what joy does. Joy gives you not only happiness and delight, but it also helps bring patience, because you know, and bringing joy to Yah, it brings joy to you, and you're able to continue to move forward in this walk that he has placed before you. Listen, he never said that the narrow path was he said, but did he say it was simple? Huh? Hold on. He said many find what? The narrow path? Many find the broad path, but only few find the get through that way down the path of righteousness is for his name's sake is being led by Yahusha, his right arm, same way that they were led out of Mitzrayim or Egypt. They were strengthened by Yah. But guess what? The first generation became what? Weak because of the 10's report. Only 2 were strengthened by Yah and was ready to go fight giants and take down walls and didn't even care who was coming up against them, but they knew that Yah was their strength. And so in our times and our battles, we might not see live giants coming at us, but we have to be able to know that he is our strength. It also says in the scripture that he's our fortress. It also says that he's our tower. It also says that he's our shield and our buckler. That's right. That he's the one that allows the destroyer to come. He created the destroyer, but no weapon formed shall prosper. Even if the enemy lifts up a flood, he got a standard to raise up against him. So we have to know, and we have to be able to trust totally 100%. And if you want to go further, 110% in what Yah is willing to do for his people. Oftentimes we faint before we get to see the finishing result. And then we got to start all over again. That's if you're willing to stay on the path that he has set you on. But so many join institutions, and then they fall away because they see what man doing instead of focusing on what Yah is doing. I mean, so many people are focused on the wrong thing. But if we focus our mind and the meditation of our heart on His word, and just stick ourselves in prayer. Listen, a lot of times we think that we have to do everything according to tradition and according to the way that we have seen man do it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, if you go to YAH and seek him for instruction, he'll give you a blueprint on the way that he wants things done. And also he'll link people up with you. So that way now, not only are you there in the midst of doing what he asks you to do, but he has placed somebody there with you to help strengthen. Remember, I always use this analogy or this what I saw on Planet of the Apes. Caesar said one monkey weak, but more monkeys strong, and he put a bunch of sticks together. So if you take one stick, it's easy to break. But if you put a bunch of twigs and branches together, man, you I don't care how much, unless you just. But I ain't talking about the strength that is a mighty or any of that. I'm talking about the strength that allows you to endure. The strength that allows you to be able to when the enemy trying to cause you to lose focus, you stay focused no matter what. And guess what? A lot of times he gonna play on our mind, and he gonna try to cause that thing on your mind to do what? Filter down into your heart. Because whatever proceeds out of your heart, that's what defiles you. I mean, and so if he could cause you to start speaking negative, if he could cause you to start being negative, and if he could cause you to bring forth strife and dissension and lasciviousness and all those different types of things, then guess what? You have become weakened in the spirit, and your strength is no longer there. But if we trust in Yah, he will be our strength. We can't focus on I mean, you can go and lift weights all day, but that ain't type of strength that I'm talking about. I'm talking about spiritual strength. And Yah will be our spiritual strength. Let's look at Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter 12, starting from verse 2. Behold, El is my Yahuwah. So I'm going to do verses 2 and 3. Behold, El is my Yeshua. I will trust and not be afraid. Now, in order to trust somebody, that means that you have total dependency on them. I mean, so he said, I will trust and not be afraid. Remember, he hasn't given us the spirit of fear, right? But the spirit of love, power, of a sound mind, and strength too. So look at this. He said, I would be not afraid, for Yahuwah is my what? Strength and my song. He also has become my Yeshua. Therefore, now look at this. Like I said, every time you see that word salvation or strength, somewhere immediately before or after is going to be that word joy. Look what he said. Therefore, with joy shall ye draw out water out of the wells of what? Yeshua. What did Yahusha say? He said, all that are thirsty and that come unto me and believe in my word shall what? Never thirst again, because he will give them of the fountain of the waters of life freely, that they may never thirst again. Amen. Amen. So now look at in Nehemiah. If you go to Nehemiah, I'm ready to jump around scripts now. Okay, Nehemiah chapter 8. Nehemiah chapter 8, verses 9 through 10. All right. And Nehemyahu, or Nehemiah, which is the Tershatha, and Ezra the priest, the scribe, and the Levite that taught the people, said unto all the people, this day is holy unto Yahuwah Elohim. Mourn not nor weep, for all people wept when listen to this, they wept when they heard the words of the Torah. They wept because they were being brought back from something that was taken from them. And what's happening with this weeping, this ain't a weeping of sadness, this is a weeping of joy. A weeping that is gonna bring forth strength, because guess what? Joy is also a reward of Yah. Why? Because a lot of times we don't realize, but what did they say? It was all good and fun. Why it lasted? Guess what? Fun comes to an end. But joy is what? Everlasting. Joy is everlasting. And I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Look what else is saying in verse 10. Then he said unto them, go your way, eat the fat and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared, for this day is holy. Now they were celebrating a feast day. For this day is holy unto our Adonai, or YAH. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of YAHUAH is what? Our strength. The joy of YAHUAH is our strength. So as we are restoring here at the House of Restoration, as we are restoring everywhere, even in Remnant House, or restoring Yah's people, guess what? That becomes a strength. Not only it becomes a joy to Yah, that becomes our strength. Because when we begin to unite, when we begin to come one together, as we do here on the Sabbath day gathering, then guess what? It brings joy to Yah, and therefore it brings strength to his people. It brings strength to his people. Now look, I was just telling y'all, joy is everlasting, correct? So let's look at something real quick. YAHU 35. YAHU 35 and 10. Now look at this. Remember, now we were brought with a price, right? It was Yahusha's blood that paid for us. So therefore, he paid basically our ransom. We were being held hostage by sin, and he paid our ransom through his blood. So look what it say in verse 10 of chapter 35 of Yeshayahu Isaiah. And the ransom of YAHUAH shall return and come to Zion with song and everlasting what? Joy. Everlasting joy. Okay? So the joy of the Lord is our strength, and we will return singing songs, and we will have everlasting joy. Everlasting joy. Right? It said joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. So guess what? Everlasting joy, meaning that you will be spending eternity and you will have joy with the master. You will have joy with the Most High. So joy is everlasting, it's eternal. But fun, it comes to an end. Remember when we partying, because remember now, them folks were partying because Moshe delayed, and then when Moshe came down, guess what? The fun came to an end. It came to an end. But now, once we receive joy, it becomes everlasting. Why? Because I like something that Yahusha said in John chapter 15. If you go to John chapter 15, look at verses 10 and 11. And that's Yahukanan, chapter 15, verses 10 and 11. If ye guard my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have guarded my Father's commandments and abide in this love and his love. These things I have spoken unto you, that my joy, listen to this, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be what? Full. That your joy might be full. How does your joy become full? Because you have received strength and salvation through the master. Because his joy passes on to you. So it becomes your strength, your salvation, your joy. When he's pleased, it passes on to us, his children. think about this like this. Okay, so I'm the one in my household that works and bring in things. So guess what? If I get a bonus, it ain't gonna affect the whole family if I got a bonus on my job and I was like, hey, babe, I got a bonus. You know what I mean? We could do a couple things that we had planned or things that we had put to the side that we couldn't do at that moment. We kind of knock out of the way. That would bring joy to her. Then it will bring joy to the son just because he would end up getting something, or even the other children, all our children. You know what I mean? So it's just how it everything is a how can I put it? A domino effect or a ripple effect. Is John chapter 15 verses 10 and 11. But look what he said. These things have I spoken unto you that my joy might remain in you. My joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. So we are becoming strengthened, but he said, if you guard my commandments. Now listen to this. Also through chastisement can bring forth correction. That can also bring that can bring a father joy, because once he realizes that his son, through love, through the father's love of correcting the child, it could still bring forth joy. Why? Because you see the finishing results of what came forth from that chastisement. What finishing results came forth from that little spanking that you got. So look at this. Ecclesiasticus. Now everybody might not, because Ecclesiastes in the Bible ends at verse 12. But if you have a CEPHER or an Apocrypha, you can look at Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verses 1 and 2. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verses 1 and 2. Look what it said. He that loves his son causes him to feel the rod, that he may have what? Joy of him in the end. So the finishing result will bring forth joy to the father every time he chastens us and doesn't keep the rod away. Because remember this, is that he whom I love, I rebuke and I chasten. So if he doesn't love us, we wouldn't receive that chastening when we did something wrong. How do we feel chastening? We feel conviction in our spirit when we're doing something wrong, maybe looking at something wrong, maybe listening to something wrong, and we begin to feel that conviction of the YAHUAH HaKodesh. The Holy Spirit begins to nag at us and just pull our shirt. Like you feel that little pinching. My mom used to pinch all the time, and okay. If I keep doing this, the pinch is just gonna get harder. So I need to get this together. Tiana used to do that too. She would tell us she was gonna ring on neck, but that's not here nor there. Auntie love us. I found out what ring your neck mean as I got older. I was just like, oh my goodness, she talking about choking us out. But hey, she ain't that woman no more. But look what it said. He said, he that chastises his son shall have joy in him and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He shall be able to be in acquaintance with him and be joyful for seeing the change that came forth in his life. How did the change come forth? It's because every time he went through a temptation or a trial or anything that was trying to come up against him, he had strength because of that whooping that he received. He had strength because of the joy that his father received. He had strength because he knew that he was being backed by a king that is above any president, a king that is above any prime minister or any queen or king or whatever it is here on this earth. So Yah is our strength. He's our strength regardless of how we view these things. So now let's go to Tehillim Psalms real quick. And we're going to focus in Psalms just a little bit. Psalm 118. Psalm 118 verse 14. Yep. Psalm 118 verse 14. It says, Yah is my strength and song, and has become my Yeshua. I mean, go to verse 15 too. The voice of rejoicing and Yeshua is in the tabernacles of the righteous, and the right hand of Yahuwah does valiantly. I mean, so look at that. Yah is my strength and my song, and has become my Yeshua, my safety, my comfort. You know, I have rest in him. And this is something that we have to keep in mind when we're going through our ordeals in life, when we're going through situations that may be heavy burden on us, when we may have something that we need to tell a loved one and we're kind of afraid to tell them. Seek him on how, and ask him wisdom on how I need to say this, because sometimes we could word things wrong and the other person could take it the wrong way. So sometimes we need to go to him and seek him for counseling on how to present things to people, or how to deal with a situation that may be a little, that may be a little rough around the edges in your life. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I had a situation at work where a guy was just, he basically just got fed up with how things were going, and out of the blue, he just wanted to leave. And I was just like, well, I mean, you really defeating the purpose for you may well just work it through. But you know what? I said maybe it's something in his mind that he just got to get right. Cause maybe, if I don't send him home, he might decide to be a loose cannon and want to hurt somebody. So I said, you know what? I rolled off for a minute, asked YAH, he said, just let him go to the house and tell him, this isn't gonna be the first and only time that happened. And so sometimes you got to use wisdom in these things. And sometimes as a supervisor or a manager, it's hard to deal with so many different personalities. So that's why you can't deal with everybody the same way. You can't talk to everybody the same way, because everybody has a different way of handling things. And so therefore you have to know when to empathize. And when I say that, is how to step into their shoes and understand from their perspective what they're going through. And a lot of people are not willing to do that, not willing to lower themselves to understand how the next man feels. I mean, but we as children of YAH, I mean, you don't have to promote YAH with openly with your mouth only. You could do it through your actions, through your way of living, and people will recognize YAH in you. I mean, so let's look. We're gonna stay in Psalm. We're gonna stay in Psalms, and we're gonna go to verse 18. I'm sorry, chapter 18. Chapter 18, verses 1 and 2. All right. I will love you, O Yahuwah, my strength. Yahuwah is my rock and my fortress, my deliverer, my El, my strength, in whom I will what? Trust. My buckler and the horn of my Yeshua. The horn of my Yeshua. He's the strength of my salvation. I mean, he's it said rock, fortress, deliverer, El, the most high. I mean, strength, in whom I will trust. And so many of us have put our trust in man to the point where we don't trust YAH completely 100% at his word. We trust him 30%, but we trust man 70%. We need to trust YAH 100%. We need to focus more on believing what YAH has placed in the life of his people. I mean, yes, you may have had a hard knock life. Yes, you may have went through some ordeals that others may not have went through. But guess what? That's for you to strengthen your brother. That's for you to help bring joy to the joy should become contagious when you enter a room. Your joy should not be overpowered by negativity. Your joy should not become taken. It shouldn't be taken away because another person has an issue with you. Sometimes we allow ourselves, and this is what I say at work, we allow ourselves to become salty. And think about it. You drink salt water, that isn't nourishing. It isn't even, it doesn't even quench your thirst. It makes it worse. But joy, guess what it is? It's that water of life that flows freely, and it is something that quenches your thirst and takes away your thirst. That Yahusha said, "You will thirst no more." I mean, so joy. Now look at this. Joy is an attribute of Yah. I mean, joy is one of the fruits of the spirit. And if we lack joy, how can we have righteousness? I mean, if we lack joy, how can we have patience? Joy works around all these things. Yeah. Because joy shows the presence of Yah in your life. I mean, so all the fruits of the spirit work hand in hand together. And the fruits of the spirit will begin to manifest in your life, and they'll begin to show through your actions, not through just your words, but your actions, through your deeds, through the things that you go forth to do. I mean, and so we have to be able to set aside our personal grievances, because you may have a personal grievance, but y'all say, hey, you're supposed to be better than that. I need you to humble yourself first. I need you to humble yourself so that you can help this person that is in the position of having others direct them the wrong way. I mean, because so many of us, we go to man to try to get a solution for our problems, when all we have to do is seek Yah. And there's so many people that have been, that is in still in captivity to, listen, I did a message called "In Captivity to Your Own Mind." We're so still in captive in here that we're so caught up in our sin that we don't realize that we deceive ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. Like one night, me and my wife, we've never got involved in Black Friday because we went and looked up what Black Friday meant. And this isn't nothing to disrupt with racism or anything like that. But on Black Friday, that was the time after Thanksgiving where they sold slaves for cheap. And then they had the slaves go around and they basically made them act like Sambo, dance around, shuck and chuck for them, and so therefore we begin to pay attention to these things. And so, and this is my point. Instead of running out there and buying all this stuff, because guess what? You're becoming still enslaved to society by going forth and doing that thing which they expect you to do, and they expect you to go out and buy all that, spend all your money on that different type of stuff. So therefore, your mind is still enslaved to society. I mean, to sin, to greed, to lust, to having things that really, you don't, because you're gonna get a deal of saving $20 or whatever the case is. But a lot of people may not agree with me on that. But hey, I mean, when I really saw it, I was just like, I'm not going out there to kill myself over anything like that anymore. If I can't get it through earning it the proper way, then oh well, it is what it is. I don't need it. And so therefore, that's why we have to be careful on the mindset that we have, because the mindset that we have can cause us to stray or be led astray by the way that man invents things. I mean, so let's look. Psalm, still in Psalm, Tehillim, go to verse chapter 27. Chapter 27. Verse 1. Now look at this. Now we just see that he was our strength, our deliverer, our fortress, our heir. But look what he said right here. Yahuwah is my light. He's my light. In the dark place, he's my light. What is that? That not only is joy in your life, because when others are, guess what? A negative attitude is a dark attitude. A joyful attitude is a light attitude, an attitude where, and when I say light attitude, pay attention to this. A lot of people does what they say, don't take it so lightly. But some people are able to take it lightly because joy. Their joy is the YAH is their strength. And instead of them taking it so personally, because some people take it personally, so it weighs on them heavy, they're not able to get past the circumstance. So therefore, they don't take it lightly, but people with joy, we take it lightly. And so therefore the light of our life is able to overpower that darkness that people are trying to bring into our life. And so therefore you have to learn how to use your light not only as a source of hope, but as a source of joy to bring forth to others. Amen. So that becomes a shield to others. That becomes a way of defense towards the enemy trying to send for a fiery darts. Remember, I told you the shield of faith ain't just no little shield that you hold up in front of you. It's a 360-degree force field. Yeah. I mean, so look what he said. Yahuwah is my light and my Yeshua. Whom shall I fear? He asked a question behind that. Whom shall I fear? No one. Yahuwah is my strength and my life, of whom I shall be afraid. So we should be afraid of him because he is our strength. And when we lose that strength, we become what? Weak. We become weak. Is it Proverbs 18 and one of the scriptures that say, who can bear a broken and contrite spirit? I mean, we have to realize that when we going through, man, if their spirit that YAH has placed in you isn't, if you're not up to par and strengthening it through his word, strengthening it through prayer, strengthening it through doing what he has called for you to do, your assignment, then guess what? It's only going to become weak. And when that spirit man becomes weak, well, guess what overpowers the spirit man? The flesh. And so therefore you begin to lust and greed and do, take in lasciviousness, and it will overpower you. And lasciviousness is unbridled lust. And so when that unbridled lust kicks in, then you will begin to basically convert back to the way that you were. Because remember this, he said, new wine need to go in what? New wine skin. So you need to have a new body, so that new wine, which is Yeshua or Yahusha, by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, can dwell in you. Remember, we talked about the tabernacle the other day and talk about how you are the tabernacle of Yah. That tabernacle, when you go, when within that tabernacle should be joy, because we just read that in his tabernacle will be rejoicing. I mean, so we should be rejoicing. We should be praising. We should be giving glory to Yah all our days. I mean, look at now Psalm chapter 28. Psalm chapter 28, verses 7 and 8. Say, Yahuwah is my strength and my what? Shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly does what? Rejoice. And with my song will I praise him. So there should be songs that we have that uplift us. I mean, there should be it said that he is our song. What is the song? What sometimes you get so caught up in the music, you just start, I mean, I can't dance, but it makes you start, vibing and doing things. You don't care who see you because you just feel good. I ain't talking about that where you just convulsing and running around and jumping up and down, hooping and hollering. When they talk about they got the Holy Spirit, I'm talking about being in sync with Yah's spirit, and it just calls you to just dance like David danced. I don't know, some people may come out of their clothes, don't know, but he was so filled with the spirit and the joy that he came out of his clothes when he danced. That's how good he felt about Yah being his strength, about Yah bringing forth and allowing his joy to be in him, that his joy may be full. I mean, so now look what does he say? He said, therefore my heart greatly rejoices, and with my song will I praise him. Yahuwah is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his what? Anointed. Yes. Of his anointed. Yes. Those that are called and handpicked and selected by him. Yes. Amen. So now let's look at Habakkuk. And I'm about to close out here. I'm about to end up, but let's touch a little bit more on a little bit more areas. Let's look real quick. Habakkuk chapter 18. Chapter 3. Ain't no chapter Habakkuk chapter 3, verses 18 and 19. He said, "Yet I will rejoice in Yahuwah, I will joy in the Elohai of my Yeshua. Yahuwah Adonai is my strength." Remember, I told y'all at the beginning, most of the time when you see joy and strength, you're gonna find that word Yeshua, which is salvation. So when you hear me reading out of the CEPHER where it says Yeshua, it's talking about salvation. Yahusha is salvation. Yahuwah is salvation. That's what Yahusha means. And so where you see Yeshua at, it kind of is there placed as the word of Yah. The word salvation. So I will rejoice in Yahuwah. I will joy in the Elohai of my Yeshua. Yahuwah Adonai is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds feet, and he will make me to walk upon my high places. Remember this, his high places. Why? Because there are things trying to bring you down. There are things trying to disturb you. There are things trying to break you down. But guess what? He will cause your feet to walk upon your high places, because anytime the enemy is bigger than you, he'll cause them to become your footstool. So therefore, you're able to walk upon your high places. He giving you power to tread over serpents and scorpions. No matter how high the enemy may tower over you, he'll cause you to walk all over him. I mean, 18 verses 18 through 19. He said, "To the chief singer of my stringed instruments." I mean, so therefore they singing songs to praise him. I mean, so now let's go to one last verse, and everybody quote this verse all the time. All the time. I hear people quote it all the time. All the time. All right. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. It says, "I can do all things through Messiah, which strengthen me." Now listen to this. You have people quoting that all the time, but then this thing, you know, that same person that just quoted it to you is giving up, or feel like that it's over, or feel like they can't handle a situation, or feel, you know, just ready to give up on y'all. Oh, this ain't going right for me. But guess what? Let's look at that. Let's look very close to that. I can do all things. Did he say some things? Huh? I could do one thing. I could do two things. I could do three things. I could do all things through machine. And guess what? To me, that's encouragement. And it brings forth joy. Because what I have to remember is, hold on. He said that he rewards those that seek him diligently. So if I'm seeking him through what I'm going through, if I'm acknowledging him through what I'm going through, and not murmuring and disputing, but seeking him, then guess what? He will strengthen me. I mean, and as he strengthened me, that means that I am able to do that task that the enemy said, you're not able to do that. You won't accomplish. You won't make it happen. But guess what? Even when I was a sinful man, my motto was, they call me West, and I can make it. And how did I used to say it? I can make things happen, but I knew it wasn't me that was making things happen. It's Yah that makes things happen. But I can do all things. I can do anything as long as I have him backing me. I mean, as long as you have him backing you. And so therefore, I want to open up the house for an invitation, just to say, if you are feeling, you know, weak and disturbed and feel like there's nothing that believing in Yahusha, believe in his mighty power, trust in him, and call on his name. If you haven't given your life to him, give it to him today. It is of the most other important. So many of us try to depend on mother, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, whoever it is, you know, people that's close to us, but yet we always overlook the one that can give us infinite strength. We always overlook the one that can give us infinite joy. We always overlook the one that ransomed us so that we can have salvation. And he, remember, he is king. And a lot of people, and I was telling my wife this, I said, so many people make sure that they're registered to vote. But are you registered in the Lamb's Book of Life? I mean, are you registered to know that you already nominated Yahushua HaMashiach to be King of Kings? Because regardless of whether you nominated him or not, he is still King of Kings. And every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that he is Yah. I mean, so therefore, in closing, remember this. Yahushua HaMashiach gave his life. And not only that, he said, if we guard and keep his commandments and we love one another, then his joy will be given to us that it may be full, that our joy may be made full. And so therefore, whenever you're going through a hard situation, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, just always remember, he is your strength. He is your shield. He is your buckler. He is your deliverer, your redeemer, your fortress, your refuge. He is everything that you need, your light in the midst of darkness, whatever the case is. But remember this, if you continue to trust in him and not fear those things that are coming upon earth, then he will give you strength. He will give you strength to battle on and walk on high places. I mean, so right now let's give our praise offering. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Glory be to El. And as I said before, always is in the description if you want to down below, if you want to support this mission, this ministry, then feel free. And in closing, I love you. Yahuwah loves you. Don't forget to say, thank you, Yahusha.